Here we go again. The YouTube adpocalypse has something that, well, a lot of you are familiar with that term. Essentially, it was a media-driven mass censorship, mass demonetization of conservative voices that has occurred several times over the past couple of years. The most recent, of course, many remember the Vox adpocalypse as their fake communist multimillionaire commie LARPer went after Steven Crowder and many other channels, and it was a disaster. This now, just 6 or 7 days before the election, there is an impending hit piece coming out from the New York Times in coordination with Media Matters, specifically designed to go after Tim Pool, Tucker Carlson, Benny Johnson, Ben Shapiro, and just about any voice that can be perceived as right-wing on YouTube, with the express purpose, of course, of demonetizing them, of deplatforming them, because it's afraid. The system's afraid. It knows that it's losing, and this is actually a scary time for a lot of content creators, especially if you're out there and you're not pushing the generally approved narrative. By the way, it'd be a great time to mention, I've totally relaunched thequartering.com, completely built on Rumble technology. All my videos are hosted through Rumble Cloud. All of my videos will always be available on thequartering.com, and they also often come out earlier than anywhere else. And also, probably a good time to remind you or to ask that you consider joining on thequartering.com. What do you get for joining for as little as $8 a month? You get direct access to me in a members-only Discord, not just me, but Luke and Maggie and Hannah Claire and Melanie Mack. My whole team is in there. My editors will be in there soon. You also get a ton of exclusive discounts, 20% off all Coffee Brand coffee, 15% off Cultivated Mind, a special Meta PCs discount, 30% off Sheath, a Meta PC, did I say Meta PCs? An ammunition one I'm working on. The discounts alone pay for it. Plus, you also get 2 to 3 members-only videos every single week. I'm filming one with Hannah Claire today. We redid the membership dashboard area now. These are videos only available on the Quartering. Today, I'm going to ask Hannah Claire about perhaps what led to her leaving Tim Pool's show, but that'll only be available on thequartering.com, so hopefully you'll join today. Here's Benny Johnson. I was just informed the New York Times is writing a hit piece on me. What did I do? Quote, I said the Democrats created an open border without, quote, sufficient evidence. The lawfare against Trump in 2024 is interfering with his chances of in his presidential run, and that Kamala's DNC nomination without a primary was, quote, rigged. Well, I think many people are curious, how you become the presidential nominee without winning any kind of primary. Many people believe that, there was a coup that happened. By the way, a good time to remind you also, follow your favorite creators on Rumble. I'm right there, rumble.com/C as in Charlie /The Quartering. All my videos are there. And Rumble will not bend the knee like YouTube will undoubtedly do now. I wanted to give Benny Johnson an opportunity to comment for an upcoming article that takes a look at how political commentators, of course, only people perceived as conservative, have discussed the upcoming election on YouTube. We rely on data compiled by researchers at Media Matters. The company that is getting sued into oblivion by Elon Musk for interfering with his ad revenue. Could you kindly provide us with a comment? Oh, and they have also independently verified it. Oh, sure. Wait till you see what this clown, Nico Grant, who's writing the article, he's already privated his Twitter. He shared conspiracy theories that have been debunked, including, machines and this and the other thing, and that Mr. Trump's legal problems are a result of trying to stop him from being president. Well, aren't they? I mean, he was getting prosecuted for stuff that no other businessman has ever been prosecuted. Johnson argued without sufficient evidence, according to who? Media Matters. And then here's where the nefarious part is. YouTube placed ads on 35 of his videos containing misinformation, and they attracted 7 million views. So this is a direct attempt to demonetize creators. Media Matters identified 286 YouTube videos from 30 major creators between May and August that contain misinformation. I haven't even looked at my email. I would assume that I also have one from the New York Times, and they can flat out suck on my balls. All right. Like 100%. That's why by the way, that's why I'm building my membership program. Look, that's why I'm pushing my membership program so hard, is that I have to take control of my earnings. You know, the Rumble contract ends like this spring sometime. So I can't be counting on that. So that's why I'm pushing thecording.com/join so much. So that's what they did to Benny Johnson. Here's what they said to Ben Shapiro. Hi, Mr. Shapiro. I hope you're well. I'm a Nico loser at the reporter at the New York Times. By the way, every other major news article or place is completely backed out of this, except the New York Times. Could you kindly provide us with comment? Media Matters identified 286 videos. Oh my God. 286? I think there's something like 100,000 uploaded an hour to YouTube or something like that. And again, here you go. I have a few questions. One, are you a member of the YouTube Partner Program? Meaning they are specifically writing this piece to demonetize Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, and anybody in their on their hit list. You know, anybody who maybe had their own opinion. Had their own opinion about something going on, which you're allowed to have, by the way. 2, if so, how frequently does YouTube demonetize your videos? 3, has YouTube sent you message or email notices in the last year that your content contains misinformation? Again, this is specifically designed to demonetize and deplatform conservative voices. They aren't sending this to left-wing media, which absolutely spread insane lies. How many left-wing content creators do you think that they sent this to that talked about Russiagate, or talked about the bloodbath, or talked about any one of the main? I mean, CNN talks about it all the time, and they're in the YouTube Partnership Program. Why doesn't Media Matters have an issue with them, or MSNBC, or NBC, or ABC? These are all networks that have willingly and repeatedly spread misinformation, fully monetized on YouTube. All right. You see, that's the end game here. Run an article and quote America's most trusted newspaper that declares pretty much every major conservative purveyor of quote misinformation on YouTube, thus strong-arming YouTube into taking action against conservatives. This is not about any kind of misinformation. Obviously, as pretty much everyone knows, I've always acknowledged that Joe Biden won the 2020 election. And if it is misinformation to point out there was changing of rules in 2020, then, well, the Democrats did that. Again, this is totally scandalous. There's even more brazen. They're openly trying to intimidate YouTube, one of the most dominant platforms in America, into shutting down anybody who isn't pro-Kamala. Again, understand the mission is these supposed guardians of free speech and American liberty is to silence opposition the week before the election. They cannot get away with it, and they won't. If you've ever doubted that the New York Times is part of the Democratic media human centipede, see below. So New York Times, you want to comment? Here's my comment. Kindly go F yourself. Here they ran the only patriotic choice for president from New York Times is Kamala Harris. J.D. Vance's blood and soil nationalism. At Mar-a-Lago, extremism is good for business. I mean, this is what they do. And then you see them go after Tucker Carlson. Again, could you provide comment or decline to comment by Tuesday, October 29th? So this article is already written. It will come out later today. So by the way, wherever you're watching this, make sure you subscribe or follow, because we're obviously going to respond to it, see if your boy, the Quartering, got a shout out in it. Again, this is specifically, we have a feature clip of you saying all the sadness we've seen after the after the election, all these bad things happen, but people I know love each other more. We have a clip. They said. Tim Pool, New York Times, sent a similar email to me as well. These are threats. They absolutely are. And of course, the bold hero writing this hit piece has protected his Twitter. Here we have Rumble again saying the corporate media is on their campaign to deplatform as many conservative voices as possible. This is the type of activist garbage that is not possible on Rumble. I agree. Download Rumble, follow the quartering. Here's Nico Grant at Nico A. Grant. These tweets are protected. This guy is a quote unquote reporter that has a whole 6,000 followers. I mean, this guy is not influential whatsoever. He's making it his goal to deplatform the entire conservative voice space. And by the way, Tim certainly isn't conservative. Benny is. Ben is. Everyone else, Tucker probably is. But anybody who's ever questioning, anybody who's getting popular or getting a viewership criticizing Kamala Harris, they're on the list. And it's wild to me. This is a targeted attempt to completely shut down the conservative space on YouTube because they know they're losing. They know they're losing. They can't control the narrative. And so now they are going to take the money. They're going to take money away. They're going to get people shadow banned. They're going to do all of these things because that's all the left knows how to do. Remember just yesterday, Kamala Harris was on the Shannon Sharp podcast. I know you probably never heard of it, but she had the actual unmitigated gall to say that the Republicans or Democrats, or Donald Trump wanted to take away your right to free speech 24 hours before this hit piece came out, which is, I'm sure, her party knows about. At no point has Skamala Harris come out and said, hey, I think we should respect free speech. I think, we shouldn't be banning and censoring people. No, she just calls everyone she disagrees with a Nazi, which is obviously a lie too. I mean, this is huge. And the frightening part about it is that it's probably going to work. It's probably going to work. They're going to pick off some low-level people, probably not Ben Shapiro, probably not Tim Pool, but definitely some up-and-comers. They're going to get demonetized. You're going to see a bunch of videos removed in response to this, a bunch of strikes. And guess when it's going to happen? The week before the election. You know what happens if you get a strike on your account? You can't stream for a month. I think a month. And you can't upload for a week. They are literally trying to silence the right wing, the entirety of the right wing on YouTube during the election week. Think about that. That is frightening. Make sure that you download Rumble, follow your favorite creators there, and please do consider going to thequartering.com/join right now. Join at the membership. That will ensure you always get my videos. You'll save a bunch of money. You'll get extra videos. You'll get extra access to me in the Discord, which now has, the general Discord is like 8,000 people. The members Discord has a lot of people in it too already. Get in there. There's a Halloween costume contest. I'm going to keep my head down and push forward during this obvious push for censorship. Again, conveniently 6 days before the election. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do make sure you leave a like on it. Wherever you're watching, follow or subscribe, and we'll talk to you again real soon.